Some tractors worked hard for 10 years. A few survived 20. But one machine kept plowing fields after half a century, with little more than routine maintenance. Across America, farmers still start these iron legends every spring, even though many were built before the moon landing. So which classic tractor truly earned the title of the longest lasting? The answer isn't based on nostalgia, it's based on engineering, reliability, parts availability, and decades of real farm experience. Let's rank the 10 toughest ever built. Number 10. Allis-Chalmers WD45. When the Allis-Chalmers WD45 arrived in 1953, it wasn't the biggest tractor in America, and it certainly wasn't the most expensive. But what it offered was something farmers valued even more: dependability. Built in West Allis, Wisconsin, the WD45 was an improved version of the successful WD, featuring a larger 226 cubic inch four-cylinder engine that produced around 39 drawbar horsepower, making it one of the strongest tractors in its class during the mid-1950s. The WD45 became especially popular on medium-sized family farms throughout the Midwest. It handled plowing, cultivating, planting, hay work, and countless other daily jobs without demanding complicated maintenance. One reason for its reputation was its straightforward mechanical design. There were no electronic controls, no complicated hydraulic computers, and very few parts that couldn't be repaired with ordinary tools. One of the tractor's biggest innovations was the snap coupler hitch system. Before the widespread adoption of the three-point hitch in America, this system allowed implements to be attached much faster than traditional drawbars. While it eventually lost popularity as three-point hitches became the industry standard, many farmers appreciated how securely implements connected to the tractor. The engine itself earned a reputation for longevity. Regular oil changes, cooling system maintenance, and clean fuel were often enough to keep the gasoline or diesel engines running for decades. Many WD45 tractors have remained in operation for more than 60 years, often passing through several generations of the same farming family. Replacement parts remain widely available today, thanks to strong collector interest and aftermarket manufacturers. That means owners can still rebuild engines, transmissions, hydraulic systems, and steering components without extraordinary expense. The WD45 may not have been the most technologically advanced machine of its era, but it proved that simple engineering and rugged construction could outlast changing farming trends. Even today, thousands continue to work on small farms, proving why this classic deserves its place among the longest-lasting tractors ever built. Number 9. Minneapolis-Moline G1000. By the early 1960s, American farms were becoming larger, and farmers demanded tractors capable of handling wider implements and heavier workloads. Minneapolis-Moline answered with the G1000, introduced in 1963. It quickly became known for one thing above all else: massive low-end torque. Powered by large six-cylinder gasoline, diesel, or LP gas engines, the G1000 delivered impressive pulling power that made it ideal for heavy tillage, deep plowing, and large field cultivators. Unlike tractors that relied on high engine speeds, the G1000 performed best at lower RPMs, reducing engine stress and extending mechanical life. The tractor's heavy cast construction also played an important role in its durability. Thick transmission housings, robust rear axles, and oversized drivetrain components were designed to survive years of continuous field work. Many owners found that the transmission and differential would last for decades with nothing more than routine lubricant changes. Comfort was another strength. The spacious operator platform and power steering reduced fatigue during long work days. Although it lacked the enclosed cabs that became common later, farmers appreciated its practical layout and easy access to service points. One reason many G1000 tractors still exist today is that they were rarely pushed beyond their limits. Their engines produced substantial torque reserves, allowing them to perform demanding jobs without constantly operating at maximum output. Less mechanical stress often translated into longer service life. Like many classic tractors, the G1000 can still be restored because many engine and drivetrain components remain available through specialty suppliers and collector networks. Numerous examples continue to appear at tractor shows, pulling competitions, and even active farms. While Minneapolis-Moline eventually disappeared as an independent tractor manufacturer following industry consolidation, the G1000 remains one of the company's greatest engineering achievements. Its combination of strength, simple mechanics, and exceptional durability earned it a lasting reputation among farmers who needed dependable horsepower year after year. Number 8. Oliver 1650. Some tractors became famous because they introduced revolutionary technology. The Oliver 1650 became famous because it almost never seemed to quit. Introduced in 1964, the Oliver 1650 filled the growing demand for a reliable row-crop tractor capable of handling nearly every job on a mixed farm. Producing approximately 66 PTO horsepower, it struck an excellent balance between size and versatility. Whether pulling a plow, operating a baler, planting corn, or transporting wagons, the 1650 proved itself dependable season after season. A major reason behind its longevity was its rugged 6-cylinder engine. Depending on configuration, buyers could choose gasoline or diesel power, with the diesel version becoming particularly respected for fuel efficiency and long operating life. Many engines accumulated thousands of working hours before requiring a complete overhaul, provided owners followed regular maintenance schedules. The tractor's hydro-power drive transmission was another important feature. It allowed operators to shift between high and low ranges under load without stopping, increasing productivity while reducing clutch wear. When properly maintained, the system proved remarkably durable. Farmers also appreciated how easy the tractor was to repair. Components were logically arranged, service manuals were straightforward, and many repairs could be completed without specialized dealership equipment. That practicality became especially valuable after Oliver merged into White Farm Equipment during the late 1960s. The 1650 also earned praise for operator comfort. Adjustable seating, good visibility, and responsive controls made long hours in the field less tiring than many competing tractors of the period. Even today, restored Oliver 1650 tractors remain active on livestock farms, hay operations, and rural properties. Owners frequently report that these machines continue working reliably despite being more than half a century old. The Oliver 1650 may never have dominated sales charts like some of its competitors, but among farmers who owned one, its reputation for durability became legendary. Its ability to perform nearly every farm task with minimal downtime is exactly why it earns a place among history's longest-lasting classic tractors. Number 7. Ford 5000. By the mid-1960s, Ford had already built millions of tractors around the world. But the Ford 5000 became one of the company's greatest success stories. Introduced in 1965, it combined dependable engineering with enough horsepower to serve both livestock farms and larger crop operations, making it one of the most versatile tractors of its generation. At the heart of the Ford 5000 was a durable 4-cylinder engine available in gasoline and diesel versions, with the diesel becoming the overwhelming favorite in North America. Producing roughly 69 PTO horsepower, it offered an ideal balance of power, fuel economy, and reliability. Many diesel engines routinely exceeded 10,000 operating hours before requiring major internal rebuilding. The tractor's fully independent PTO allowed operators to engage implements without stopping the tractor, improving efficiency during mowing, baling, and harvesting. Its hydraulic system was equally dependable, delivering smooth performance for loaders and mounted equipment over many years of continuous use. Another reason the Ford 5000 earned its reputation was outstanding parts availability. Because Ford produced the model in large numbers and exported it worldwide, replacement parts remain relatively easy to find even today. Owners can still purchase engine kits, clutch assemblies, hydraulic pumps, steering components, and sheet metal from numerous suppliers. Mechanics also appreciated the tractor's practical design. Routine maintenance, including oil changes, clutch replacement, injector servicing, and brake repairs, could usually be completed without excessive labor. This simplicity kept repair costs low and encouraged owners to keep the machines in service rather than replace them. Many Ford 5000 tractors remain working on farms nearly 60 years after leaving the factory. Some continue mowing pastures, hauling hay, clearing snow, and operating loaders every week. The Ford 5000 wasn't built to impress with luxury or cutting-edge technology. It was built to start every morning, work all day, and repeat the process for decades. That dependable reputation is exactly why it ranks among the longest-lasting classic tractors ever produced. Number 6. International Harvester 1066. When International Harvester introduced the 1066 in 1971, American agriculture was changing rapidly. Farms were growing larger, implements were becoming wider, and farmers needed tractors that could work harder without sacrificing reliability. The 1066 answered that demand perfectly. It wasn't just powerful, it was built with the expectation that it would spend thousands of hours pulling heavy loads year after year. At the heart of the tractor was International Harvester's legendary DT414 turbocharged inline-six diesel engine, producing approximately 125 engine horsepower. The DT414 quickly earned a reputation for exceptional durability. Unlike many high-performance engines of the era, it was designed with replaceable wet cylinder sleeves, making major overhauls easier and more economical. Many engines accumulated well over 12,000 hours before requiring significant rebuilding, and some exceeded 20,000 hours when properly maintained. The tractor's 8-speed gear transmission paired with the torque amplifier allowed operators to reduce speed under load without stopping. While the torque amplifier required proper maintenance and wasn't indestructible, the rest of the drivetrain proved remarkably strong. Heavy cast housings, robust rear axles, and durable final drives allowed the 1066 to handle large plows, field cultivators, and grain drills with confidence. The spacious, custom, and later factory cab options also improved operator comfort. Better visibility, improved heating, and optional air conditioning allowed farmers to spend long harvest days in the field with less fatigue. Although later cab designs became quieter, the 1066 represented a major improvement over earlier open platform tractors. Another reason these tractors continue working today is the abundance of replacement parts. Because International Harvester sold tens of thousands of 66 series tractors across North America, aftermarket companies continue producing engine components, hydraulic pumps, steering parts, sheet metal, electrical systems, and nearly every major wear item. Walk through farm auctions across the Midwest today, and it isn't unusual to see a 50-year-old 1066 still earning a living. Many remain primary tillage tractors on smaller farms, while others operate augers, feed mixers, manure spreaders, or grain carts. Their continued service isn't accidental. It reflects a machine engineered with generous safety margins and straightforward mechanics. The International Harvester 1066 became one of the defining tractors of the 1970s. Its combination of dependable horsepower, rebuildable engine design, and rugged construction has allowed thousands to remain productive decades after production ended, making it one of the longest-lasting tractors ever built. Number 5. Massey Ferguson 135. Some tractors became famous because they were enormous. The Massey Ferguson 135 became famous because it could do almost everything. Introduced in 1964 as part of the successful 100 series, the MF135 became one of the best-selling tractors in agricultural history. More than 500,000 units were produced around the world, and even today it remains one of the most recognizable tractors ever built. The tractor was offered with several engines depending on the market, but the Perkins AD 3.1523 cylinder diesel became its most respected power plant. Producing roughly 45 engine horsepower, the Perkins engine earned worldwide praise for its fuel efficiency, smooth operation, and remarkable longevity. It wasn't uncommon for properly maintained engines to exceed 10,000 operating hours before needing a complete overhaul. One reason the MF135 lasted so long was its simplicity. Nearly every routine maintenance task could be completed with basic tools. Fuel filters, injectors, clutch components, hydraulic pumps, brakes, and steering systems were all designed for practical servicing rather than complicated replacement. Farmers appreciated machines they could repair themselves, especially during busy planting and harvest seasons. The Ferguson 3-point hydraulic system was another major advantage. Building upon Harry Ferguson's revolutionary hydraulic draft control system, the MF135 offered excellent implement control for plowing, cultivating, mowing, and grading. The hydraulics became known for reliability, with many systems continuing to function smoothly after decades of use. Its relatively light weight also contributed to long life. Because the tractor wasn't constantly overstressing its drivetrain, major transmission failures were less common when operated within its intended horsepower range. The gearbox, differential, and rear axle developed a reputation for surviving generations of ownership. Today, the Massey Ferguson 135 remains common on livestock farms, vineyards, orchards, municipal properties, and hobby farms across the world. Parts availability is exceptional thanks to its enormous production numbers. Owners can still purchase nearly every major mechanical component new, allowing restorations that return these tractors to regular fieldwork. More than 60 years after its introduction, the MF135 continues proving that a tractor doesn't need massive horsepower to achieve legendary durability. Its dependable Perkins engine, reliable hydraulics, and simple mechanical construction have made it one of the longest-lasting and most trusted utility tractors ever built. Number 4. John Deere 4020. If there is one tractor that countless American farmers describe as nearly impossible to wear out, it's the John Deere 4020. Introduced in 1964 as part of Deere's new generation lineup, the 4020 quickly became the benchmark by which almost every other row crop tractor was judged. Even today, many agricultural historians consider it one of the greatest farm tractors ever produced. Power came from John Deere naturally aspirated 404 cubic inch inline-six engine, available in gasoline, LP gas, and diesel versions. The diesel quickly became the favorite, producing approximately 95 PTO horsepower while delivering excellent fuel economy and outstanding reliability. The engine's heavy-duty block, forged crankshaft, and conservative operating speed allowed it to accumulate extraordinary service hours. Many original engines have surpassed 15,000 hours before major rebuilding, while carefully maintained examples have worked far beyond that. Buyers could choose either the dependable synchro range transmission or Deere's revolutionary power shift transmission. The 8-speed power shift allowed clutchless shifting through all forward gears under load, dramatically improving productivity in the field. Properly maintained, both transmissions earned reputations for long service lives. Hydraulic performance also set the 4020 apart. Deere's closed-center hydraulic system delivered strong, consistent pressure, allowing operators to use loaders, hydraulic cylinders, and steering systems simultaneously without noticeable loss of performance. This advanced system became an industry benchmark for years afterward. Operator comfort represented another major step forward. Adjustable seating, logically arranged controls, improved visibility, and optional sound guard accessories in later years made long workdays more manageable than many competing tractors of the 1960s. Perhaps the greatest proof of the 4020's durability is its continued use today. Thousands remain active across North America, performing mowing, planting, spraying, hay production, loader work, and grain farming. The aftermarket support is enormous, with virtually every major mechanical component still available through suppliers and restoration specialists. Auction prices tell the story. Well-maintained John Deere 4020 tractors often command surprisingly high values because farmers know they're purchasing a machine that can still provide reliable service decades after it left the factory. Few tractors have earned greater respect, and that lasting reputation easily secures its place among the most durable tractors ever built. Number 3. International Harvester Farmall M. Long before tractors came with air-conditioned cabs, electronic controls, or touchscreen displays, there was a machine that simply showed up every morning and went to work. Introduced in 1939, the International Harvester Farmall M became one of the most successful row crop tractors ever built. During its production run, more than 270,000 units rolled out of International Harvester factories, making it one of the company's greatest agricultural achievements. The Farmall M was designed during a time when reliability wasn't just important, it was essential. Many farmers owned only one tractor, meaning a mechanical failure could delay planting or harvesting for days. International Harvester answered that challenge with a machine built around simplicity. Powered by a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder gasoline engine of approximately 248 cubic inches, The Farmall M produced about 38 drawbar horsepower, enough to handle 3 bottom plows, cultivators, mowers, hay equipment, and countless other implements common on American farms during the 1940s. What truly made the Farmall legendary was the strength of its construction. Nearly every major component, the engine block, transmission housing, differential and rear axle, was built from heavy cast iron. The tractor operated at relatively low engine speeds compared to modern machines, reducing internal wear and allowing components to last for decades. With routine oil changes, clean fuel, proper cooling system maintenance, and occasional valve adjustments, many engines continued working for generations before needing a complete overhaul. The unsynchronized 5-speed transmission became another symbol of durability. It contained few complicated parts and was engineered to withstand years of pulling heavy loads through rough fields. Farmers often remarked that the gearbox seemed almost impossible to destroy when operated correctly. Likewise, the manual steering system and mechanical brakes were straightforward to repair, requiring no specialized electronics or diagnostic equipment. Another factor behind the Farmall's incredible lifespan is parts availability. Because so many tractors were produced, reproduction parts remain abundant. Engine kits, pistons, bearings, carburetors, ignition components, clutch assemblies, hydraulic pumps, steering gears, and sheet metal can still be purchased from restoration suppliers across North America. This has allowed thousands of Farmall M tractors to remain operational well into the 21st century. Visit almost any antique tractor show in the United States today, and chances are you'll see multiple Farmall MIMs arriving under their own power rather than on trailers. Even more impressive, many still earn a living on small farms, pulling wagons, mowing fields, operating augers, or raking hay. After more than 80 years, they continue performing useful work instead of sitting permanently in museums. The Farmall M proved that durability isn't about having the most horsepower. It's about building every component with enough strength to survive decades of honest work. Few tractors have earned the trust of as many farming families, and its remarkable longevity secures its place among the greatest agricultural machines ever built. Number 2. Ford 8. If one tractor changed farming forever while also earning a reputation for lasting almost indefinitely, it was the Ford 8N. Introduced in 1947, the 8N wasn't the largest tractor of its time, nor was it the most powerful. Yet it became one of the best-selling tractors in North American history, with more than 524,000 units produced during its 5-year production run. Even today, it remains one of the most common vintage tractors still working on farms, ranches, and rural properties. The Ford 8N was powered by a reliable 119.7 cubic inch 4-cylinder gasoline engine, producing approximately 27 belt horsepower. On paper, those numbers seem modest by modern standards, but the tractor was designed for efficiency rather than brute force. It handled plowing, mowing, cultivating, grading, planting, and hauling with surprising capability, especially on small and medium-sized farms. One of the biggest reasons for the 8N's success was its famous Ferguson-designed 3-point hitch with hydraulic draft control. This revolutionary system allowed mounted implements to automatically adjust to changing soil conditions, improving traction while reducing operator effort. The design became so influential that the 3-point hitch eventually evolved into the worldwide industry standard still used today. Mechanically, the Ford 8N was intentionally uncomplicated. Its engine featured a simple carburetor, distributor ignition, and gear-driven transmission that owners could repair using ordinary hand tools. Replacement parts became inexpensive because hundreds of thousands of tractors shared common components. Even today, complete engine rebuild kits, hydraulic pumps, steering boxes, brake parts, electrical systems, and sheet metal are readily available from multiple aftermarket suppliers. Perhaps the greatest evidence of the tractor's durability is how many remain in regular service nearly 80 years after production began. Across North America, countless Ford 8Ns still mow pastures, maintain gravel roads, move trailers, operate post-hole diggers, rake hay, and clear snow every winter. Many have never undergone complete restorations. They simply continue working because their original engineering was so dependable. Owners often describe the Ford 8N as a tractor that forgives neglect better than almost any other machine. While no equipment lasts forever without maintenance, The 8N became famous for continuing to operate even after years of hard use. That resilience helped establish its legendary reputation among generations of farmers. The Ford 8N wasn't built with luxury in mind. It was built to be affordable, easy to repair, and dependable enough that ordinary farming families could rely on it every day. More than 7 decades later, its continued presence in active service proves that Ford achieved exactly that. Number 1. John Deere Model A. When people talk about tractors that refuse to die, one name appears again and again: the John Deere Model A. Introduced in 1934 during the depths of the Great Depression, the Model A arrived when American farmers needed dependable equipment more than ever. Over the next 18 years, John Deere continuously refined the design while preserving the rugged mechanical foundation that would eventually make it one of the longest-lasting tractors ever built. More than 300,000 Model A tractors were produced before manufacturing ended in 1952. Throughout those years, the tractor evolved with improvements in transmissions, hydraulics, and styling, but its reputation for reliability never changed. Early versions featured steel wheels before rubber tires became standard, allowing the machine to bridge 2 very different eras of American agriculture. Power came from John Deere's famous 2-cylinder engine. While the distinctive exhaust sound earned the nickname Johnny Popper, the engine's real strength lay in its simplicity. The large displacement, low-speed design generated excellent torque while placing relatively little stress on internal components. Operating at much lower RPM than many competing tractors, the engine experienced reduced wear, allowing properly maintained examples to remain functional after tens of thousands of working hours spread across decades. The Model A's heavy cast-iron frame, oversized crankshaft, durable transmission gears, and robust final drives were intentionally overbuilt for the workloads expected during the 1930s and 1940s. Farmers frequently used these tractors for plowing, cultivating, threshing, belt-powered equipment, hay production, and transport. Despite years of demanding service, major structural failures remained uncommon. Maintenance was equally straightforward. Most routine repairs required only basic mechanical knowledge. Magnetos, carburetors, water pumps, clutches, and valve trains were easily accessible, allowing owners to perform repairs in their own workshops rather than relying on dealerships. That practicality became one of the biggest reasons so many tractors survived. Another key factor behind the Model A's incredible longevity is unmatched collector support. Because the tractor remains one of the most beloved vintage John Deere models ever produced, virtually every mechanical and cosmetic component is available today. Whether rebuilding an engine, restoring sheet metal, replacing bearings, or repairing the transmission, owners have access to an extensive network of suppliers dedicated to keeping these tractors alive. Perhaps the strongest evidence comes from farms themselves. Across the United States and Canada, countless John Deere Model A tractors continue starting reliably after more than 80 years. Some still pull wagons during harvest. Others power antique threshing demonstrations, mow fields, or simply perform the same chores they handled generations ago. Many have been passed from grandparents to grandchildren, remaining part of the same family's farming history for nearly a century. Longevity isn't measured by horsepower. It isn't measured by speed or modern technology. It's measured by how many decades a machine continues doing the job it was built to do. By that standard, few tractors in agricultural history can match the John Deere Model A. Its rugged engineering, rebuildable design, exceptional parts support, and proven record across generations make it one of the greatest and arguably the longest-lasting classic tractors ever built. So that's it for today. If you like this video, then please hit the like and subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching.